I know William Ruto and Kenya government officials, when they travel abroad in these foreign boardrooms, they're constantly told they have a very good resource, which is labor, because they have a very large youthful population. But instead of doing what China did, keeping that labor at home to industrialize and build a nation, Kenya has chosen to export its people for the benefit of the president and his cronies. It's a completely backward strategy. Now remember, by the year 2050, 1 in every 4 people on earth will be African. So you would think this should be Kenya's moment to invest in its population, keep its talent at home, and build national wealth. Instead, the government has chosen to exploit that resource, dehumanize its own citizens, and ship them abroad as disposable labor. So rather than create opportunities in Kenya to develop this resource and attract real foreign investment, the government is exporting Kenyans as cheap slave workers into some of the most dangerous and exploitative job markets in the world. To many foreign governments, especially in the Gulf, Kenyan workers are seen as cheap, desperate, replaceable, and profitable for export. And to many Kenyan leaders, the diaspora has become a cash cow. Kenya's diaspora sent home over 638 billion shillings in 2024. By late 2025, remittances are crossed the 1 trillion mark. That's overtaking tea, coffee, and tourism combined. Meaning, the diaspora is sending home over 1 trillion shillings a year. So instead of asking, how do we create jobs at home, the government asked, how do we export more people to benefit ourselves? Just like oil, gold, and all these rich resources found in Africa are exploited, you're finding that Kenya now, the Kenyan government and the Kenyan president, instead of keeping the resource at home and industrializing, they are sending it outside to build other countries. Mwai Kibaki, the former Kenyan president, left President Ruto with the most educated generation since independence. A generation built for innovation, industry, and transformation. So instead of building factories, building industries, instead of giving youth opportunities, William Ruto chose to export them. So not as engineers, not as professionals, but as cheap labor. So meaning even when they come back home, they don't come back with any skills. So this is not migration, it's pretty much modern day version of a slavery by consent. So to understand what's happening today, we must confront an uncomfortable truth. East Africans, Kenyans, were enslaved by Arabs for over 1,200 years. The slave trade started in 600 AD. This is the Arab slave trade, and continued well into the 1900s. Millions of East Africans, including people from modern-day Kenya, Yes, your ancestors were kidnapped from the interior and shipped to Oman, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq. So when Kenyans rush to the Gulf without understanding the history, they walk back into a system designed centuries ago to dehumanize African labor. And today, that system has not disappeared. It simply has a new name. The biggest danger Kenyan workers face in the Gulf is the kafala system, a sponsorship structure that legally ties you to your employer. Under kafala, your boss can take your passport, deny you the right to leave the house, block you from changing jobs, and stop you from leaving the country. You just can't leave. You become a prisoner in a foreign home, a modern slave with a contract. And the person who holds the contract is your employer. This system is responsible for beatings, unpaid wages, starvation, sexual abuse, workers being thrown from balconies, and mysterious deaths. Yet, Ruto's government is not fighting kafala, it's actually feeding it. So there's this New York Times article that has exposed the abuse of Kenyan workers in Saudi Arabia. The beatings, the killings, the R. And what did the Kenyan government do? Did they protest? Did they protect their citizens? Did they demand reforms? No. In fact, our President Ruto, promised to send even more workers. Faster, cheaper, less prepared. Why? Because exporting people has become one of his biggest economic strategies. Again, a very backward strategy. And behind that strategy lies corruption, conflict of interest, and political greed. In Kenya, the export labor industry has become a gold mine, and politicians have quietly opened recruitment agencies, insurance companies, and training centers. Why? Because every Kenyan they send to Saudi Arabia equals profit. On average, recruiters now are making $1,000, not shillings, per worker. They spend about $100 to $200 in training them, and the rest is profit. Even more shocking, 1 in 10 recruitment agencies in Kenya is owned by a politician. And many are tied to Ruto's party, UDA. Even more disturbing, Ruto's own wife and daughter are major shareholders in the insurance company that recruiters are forced to buy policies from. So when the system breaks, when a Kenyan maid is stranded, a worker dies, do you think that insurance pays? This is not a business model. Again, this is slavery. Instead of addressing abuse, Kenyan officials have blamed victims, especially Kenyan women working as housemaids are blamed because they are told they are entitled, they are unsubmissive, they are problematic. Alfred Mutua, who is the labor secretary, actually suggested that women fall from balconies not because they are thrown, but because they don't know how to calculate height. He compared locking women indoors to locking your dog because it is your property. This is Alfred Mutua the labor secretary saying that. The government also pretends that it trains workers before they send them abroad. They opened a Saudi model house to teach Kenyans how to use appliances. But to my understanding, when journalists visited these houses, the boxes, or rather the appliances in these boxes, nothing was operational. The entire program was a photo op. And this is how Kenya prepares its people for the most dangerous job market in the world. The Philippines have negotiated for their workers higher wages, rescue teams, safe houses, and guaranteed repatriation, because there is always going to be abuse in the kafala system. And also remember, the Philippines don't have your skin. They don't have this skin of yours as a Kenyan, the dark skin. Also, Philippines workers in Saudi Arabia earn $400, dollars, not Kenyan shillings, dollars a month. Kenyans earn $240 a month on average. And the $240 that Kenyans earn has not changed for the last 7 years. And even Kenyan officials admit openly that if they demand better wages, Saudi employers will use cheaper Africans. The priority is volume and not human dignity. Kenyan workers are marketed as the cheapest option in the Gulf. This is not actually protection. This is prostitution of a nation's workforce. Jobs in the Gulf have become political currency. Politicians now are begging the labor minister for slots to give their supporters. So when you see politicians go out there, say, hey, I'll give you jobs, I have 5,000 slots for jobs if you support me, that's where they'll take your relative. That's where they'll take you to be exploited. Labor migration has become a political reward system. And Gloria Orwoba, a Kenyan senator, was expelled actually from parliament for speaking about this. If I'm correct, I think this is one of the issues she brought up, and she was expelled from parliament. So Kenya is at a crossroads. We have a president who proudly exports citizens as an economic strategy, very backward. A government entangled with recruitment cartels, a history of Arab slavery repeating itself in modern clothes, and a diaspora that contributes more to the Kenyan economy than any industry. That in itself is very problematic. And the Kenyan diaspora has nobody representing them in parliament. It has no office. In fact, when the president goes abroad to look for investment from the Kenyan diaspora, from foreign companies, when he goes to America, he never insists and tells the Kenyan diaspora in America, in London, in European countries to come home and invest. He never gives them incentives. Kenyans in the Gulf are beaten, they are abused, they are underpaid, they are starved, and sometimes they are returned home in coffins. We've all seen that. Well, these people in power are counting profits. Also, Kenyan embassies in the Gulf do not help Kenyan workers. We all know that. I'm just wondering, does Kenyan life have any value in the eyes of its own government? If a nation cannot protect its citizens abroad, if a government profits while its people die, then that nation is not exporting labor. It's exporting poverty. It's exporting suffering. It's exporting human beings. And it's exporting its future. And history will remember it as history will remember this as the new slave trade of the 21st century. Led not by foreigners, but by leaders who look like us. Join the discussion in the comments and subscribe for more powerful stories and commentary. Your voice matters. This is Kenya Culture Media. Thanks.
You are Rin?
My name is in the system. I don't even know why
you are Rinda Nyawia from Kenya. You need help. This girl is called Nyawia Rinda. She's here in Jeddah stranded. So she needs help. She is coming from Kenya. You know the district? Which district?
District. I don't know even why I'm explaining. I'm in the system.
Yeah,
I came here, I'm in the system.
You are in the system, but you need the help. You don't have any document. Okay?
And if I don't have, am I the only one who don't have the document? I have so many friends of mine who are working in system.
Yeah, those are friends we want to rescue you because police has failed to rescue you. Okay? Because the police wants to rescue you, failed to rescue you. You know your parents' names?
I don't know.
You don't know? Any relative name you know?
Wow.
Yes?